As you recall, I said that Karl von Clausewitz died of cholera in 1831 while he was still working on his masterwork on war, von Krieg. And what he was working on was the concept of limited warfare. And during his lifetime, there had not been any successful use of limited warfare. It tended to turn into a continental war, and Clausewitz was struggling to explain it. And unfortunately, he died before he could figure it out. So later on in that century, a gentleman by the name of Julian Stafford Corbett came along. He was a lawyer by his initial profession, and later in life he threw away his legal profession and pursued his true passion, and that was history. And as it turned out, it became naval history. And around the turn of the century, he became a prominent British naval historian, kind of rivaling Alfred Thayer Mahan in the United States, who was by far, and as far as the United States is concerned, is by far the preeminent maritime historian and theoretician and strategist. However, I think that for the purposes of my book, No Way to Fight a War, Julian Corbett is truly a key figure. He was an admirer of Clausewitz, and of course he knew that Clausewitz had died before he was able to explain limited warfare. So Julian Corbett took that on. And if you're interested in reading more about it, he published a book called Some Principles of Maritime Strategy in 1911. And it's regarded mostly in our Navy's circuit, or our Navy, the War College people and everything. They look at him, Corbett, as a naval historian and strategist. For my purposes, I think the important thing and the vital thing for the United States is that Julian Corbett explained limited warfare. Limited warfare is essentially what the United States has engaged in since the end of World War II. It's safe to say World War II was an unlimited, all-out war, commitment to victory, and an unambiguous victory over the Axis powers of Germany and Italy to a small extent, and of course Japan. Julian Corbett, in Some Principles of Maritime Strategy, took on finishing Clausewitz's work and explaining how limited warfare can succeed. And he looked at it from a, as you might expect, from a British perspective, and he looked back at history to determine how is it that Britain, a small island nation in the northern Atlantic Ocean, was able to create a worldwide empire. How did they do it? With a relatively small army, but a dominant and strategically empowered navy. That is where he's mostly credited as saying, well, it's all because of the Navy. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's a lot more. And I'll be going into that. And what I've done is I've used Corbett's findings to create what I call a Corbett Test that easily explains for the layman and hopefully our congressmen and senators so that they can determine when is a proper time to use armed force in a limited way. So let me introduce you to Julian Corbett and to the Corbett Test. This is Sir Julian Stafford Corbett. He was born in 1854 and died in 1922. As if you're like me, you didn't know this guy up until now. I discovered him. I certainly didn't hear about him when I was at the Naval Academy. I heard a lot about Alfred Thayer Mahan, but Julian Corbett, I think especially for our purposes, is far more important than Mahan. And I'm sure that my fellow naval officers and strategists will hardly disagree with me, but let me go about proving why I think Julian Stafford Corbett is so important to us. This is what I call a Corbett Test. And what Sir Julian discovered, and I've tailored this for the United States. As I said, he wrote about Britain. But that in order for limited warfare to succeed, several things need to occur. One is that the country that is going to be engaging in limited war needs to be an island power. It needs to have command of the seas, and I think for modern purposes you also have to have command of the air. There are several variables involved with it. One is a limited objective, is that you're not looking to overpower, conquer, and acquire territory. You've got something like we did in Libya not so long ago. We deposed Muammar Gaddafi and then we left. That is a limited objective. The other thing is that, these are Julian Corbett's words, popular repugnance. That is that the people of the country, in our case the United States, American citizens, are so angry at this country or island or whatever that they think we should use armed force to go after them and seek revenge or do something bad to them using armed forces. As far as the objective nation, they need to be remotely located somewhere halfway around the world. Their command of the seas, hopefully they don't have it, so we got a no next to them. And in Julian Corbett's word, the term seagirt, you may not have heard girt before, but what that means is it's connected to the sea in some way, and hopefully it's an island that you can surround with your navy that's commanding the seas. But nevertheless, it should be connected. They should have a seaport or something that you can get supplies in and out of after you go in. And the last variables of the objective is that it needs to be a limited objective in a specific geographic area. They have to be doing something that antagonizes us. And lastly, and I think most importantly, and I will show you, strategic isolation. And what Corbett meant by strategic isolation is that, using Clausewitz's experience as an example, is that there are countries around your objective that need to be isolated, or they need to be friendly to you in order for you to have a successful limited war against that country. And this is, seems like pretty common sense, but as I'll show you shortly, this is the most important part of Julian Corbett's lessons. Strategic isolation is that you have to figure that the countries or states near your objective are potentially going to be your adversaries if they're not your friends. This is what happened in Europe and European wars, is the wars tended to spread across borders, and this is why Clausewitz was having such a hard time explaining limited warfare, because he was never experiencing limited war. So the next slides we'll talk about have to do with, well, how has this test gone as far as the United States is concerned since the end of World War II?